All right, everybody. I want to thank you for joining us for a little oddball and unique games chat. I've got my best friend Trey Haur here. I've known each other for about 13 years now, I think. And despite how life's gone separate ways, we've always kept in touch via playing games over the PlayStation Network. But I'm gonna give a chance to Trey to introduce himself here.
Yeah, you were only off by a couple of years there. We're looking at like 17 years, bro.
Well, I thought it was like summer 2013, right?
uh, no, it was like summer of
No,
like
summer of '03. Sorry, 2003.
yeah. God damn,
So
we're
yeah,
old.
16 years. Yeah, we're getting up there, huh? Got the old Southern gray beard going. But anyway, go ahead and talk about your channel, what you're wanting to do with your YouTube.
My YouTube, primarily music production, stuff like that. Kind of been on hiatus with that. Getting back into it. Got some stuff I'm trying to cook up right now. Aside from that, I just kind of want to bring in some video game and a little philosophy kind of talk there. Yeah,
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
still out in a definite
So
direction on what I want to do with
you
it.
you still have all your production equipment, right?
Oh yeah, I still
Still have
got
all
it
your
all.
production equipment, right?
I bought more.
Yeah, we're both kind of native instruments snobs, people, whatever you want to call it. We
Yeah.
like the German stuff. It works
Oh
good.
yeah, they make great stuff. I wish I would have sprung for the Machine Studio, but the Machine Micro is nice, so I'm making it work.
Yeah, it's just not as colorful. I mean, I still like my S4, but I was actually going to dig that out and start saying, kind of never mind the monetization, copy strikes, BS, and just do it, like show people mixing live. Hey there, Biden Touch. How you doing? Howdy, howdy. But
Um,
yeah, basically the topic for tonight is oddball and unique games that we've played over our years, not necessarily just PlayStation. I've got some I played on Xbox that are some of my favorites that led me down playing other games that came out in the future. What are some that you like, Matt?
like what I played recently, or uh,
Uh, well, just kind of the ones that like stick out in your brain the most. I mean, I know you've been doing the heart attack stress test ones.
oh yeah, I'm loving these heart attack games, man. Outlast nearly freaking killed me. That was a fun game though, but holy
Go ahead and
crap!
tell people what the like basic gist of the game is.
I'm sure most people have heard of it, but basically, you're a reporter. You get immoral, unethical experiments that are going on in this old abandoned psychiatric hospital. So, being a curious investigative reporter,
No, not the psychiatric hospital.
oh right, oh it's great because as the story goes
It's
along,
always the
not
psychiatric hospital.
it is, and what's even better, as the story goes along, Nazis are involved. Who would have thought?
Ooh,
Yeah,
Nazis.
Nazis. It's always Nazis. But yeah, so you sneak into this abandoned psychiatric hospital and you're going in to get a nice big scoop, and next thing you know, there's a bunch of psychopaths all trying to murder you brutally.
Okay, okay. So,
Yeah, oh, great though, because you'll actually your character breathes like he's terrified, and if you got headphones or a good sound system, you'll find yourself breathing along
oh,
with them.
that's that one. That's the one we did the share play where I was watching you and like I was noticing even your breath was starting to sync up with it.
Hmm.
Definitely induces a bit more psychological terror into it.
Oh yeah, it is. It is a really well made game. But while we're talking about
That's
well
awesome.
made games, I want to just bring up this game I tried to play recently. Great. I thought it was going to be something wonderful, and it turned out to be a giant turd. A game called Agony. The premise is great. You die, you go to hell,
Mm.
and you have to figure your way through the labyrinth, and there's things trying to murder you, and it just sounds like it's going to be a great game. They screwed everything up, though. Everything is bad, except for the artwork.
So it's
That's the
like
only thing good.
so it was kind of like Dante's Inferno where you go to hell, but what was it on like the same gore level or was it just the
Now,
difficulty like a Dark Souls thing?
no, that the as far as the gore, that was like its biggest appeal. Was just like the gore is really, really intense and really, really, really well done. But
Hmm.
everything else they just kind of skimped on. Like the worst part about it was when your character dies. Your character dies, the screen goes black, and then it sends you to this stupid little cutscene where some creature that like controls the labyrinth is talking about how you're a disappointment and blah. But then it takes you to a load screen that lasts about 15 to 20 seconds. So every time you die, you have to wait about 30 seconds before you can try again. And it's super easy to die. So that's frustrating. And then
Ooh,
add on top of that,
fun.
yeah, they totally messed up all of the voice acting. Like, I don't know who they found to voice act, but God, they are awful. Awful. You should be scared by
Okay.
some of the things they're saying, but you just find yourself laughing because it sounds so goddamn bad.
Is the audio out of sync with the mouths too?
No, the audio is in sync. It's like somewhat like this one chick you run into. It's like somebody told her, it's like, just sound like you're in a lot of pain, but she just sounds tired. And
Ah, okay.
so I played that game for about 20 minutes trying to give it a shot because I paid $10 for it. And after about 20 minutes, I'm like, yeah, no, no, this will never be seen again. So if anybody's thinking about playing it, just don't. Just don't. You can totally skip it.
Oh yeah, that just totally sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, let me tell you. The gore will get you right off the bat. Like you're just like, whoa, oh, that is nasty. And then about 20 minutes in, you're just like, okay, so now what? What else you
Yeah.
got? So, so yeah, that was a total waste of time. How about you? What do you got? What's one of your favorite little
Uh
oddball games you've played recently?
recently, I don't know. It seems like that'd probably be Extreme Exorcism is the one I play the most. That's my
That's
little
fun.
oddball kind of indie game where it's essentially what you can go 4 people at a time on one screen, so it's shared screen 4 player.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of the old school style games where it's more technical about balancing your jumps and timing is where it seems like. But it has it's just all the different weapons you get to go through. But it's basically whenever you kill a ghost, for everybody else out there that hasn't played it, whenever you kill one of these ghosts, you get to the next level, and what you reach. I don't know if it's infinite or not. I think I took one up to level 87. But each time you go in, it'll spawn a new ghost, and the ghost from the last round will repeat the moves you made in the round before that. So you have to learn to dodge, and it also repeats your attacks. So like if you
Mm.
take the grenade launcher, it's going to be a bad day, especially if you forget which way it shoots. And it has guns that shoot up and down in both directions, and one that shoots side to side in both directions, and it basically makes it just very interesting. And one of the things I never remembered about it, or never figured out until I played it again recently, was you can jump on the big bullets like in Super Mario Brothers. And
What?
yeah, when you know that like the gigantic bullet that takes up a third of the screen,
Yeah.
yeah, you can jump on top of that and kill it.
What?
Yep, that I think it's like a subtle nod, but I'm not entirely sure.
Shit, I just kept getting killed by that damn thing. But I mean, anytime I'm playing it, I'm usually playing it with D and Summer, so
Yeah, I
it get,
understand that.
you got a 9-year-old playing. It gets loud automatically.
What would
Extreme
you say the
Exorcism.
graphics are on that?
They're definitely like an 8-bit kind of retro look, similar to like
Yeah,
what was that, Broforce?
yeah, I was thinking 8-bit too. That's why I was going to bring up Broforce because it works along the same lines, except it has really slick, kind of like a animated shell kind of
Yeah,
cutscenes whenever you unlock a new hero, I guess. And they're all 80s, 70s action heroes, but they're all
that is my favorite part of the whole game. Is just the cultural references,
yeah.
all the different characters.
the renaming of them was what got me the most because they couldn't use exact copies of people's names, so it's almost like a tongue-in-cheek renaming of the actor, and then you also have where it's pulling characters out of movies too. And
Oh
what
yeah,
we were able to do a 3-player co-op, 2 on yours, 1 on mine. So I'm not entirely sure how much. I think you can go 4-player on that.
yeah, it's up to 4.
But yeah, Broforce was always awesome. Brawlhalla was fun, which kind of follows in the vein of Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah, it's similar to Smash Brothers. I never could get too into it though, because I mean, we got Smash Brothers on the Switch, so if we want, 4-person melee fighting, we just boot up
Yeah.
the Switch. But
So how does that work on the Switch? Yeah, if you have 4 people, does it you like add like a third controller, a third little nub, and someone can use the screen? And
yeah, I mean, you can add up to 4 controllers to the Switch, just like with the PS4. It's just whenever, like, before you start a game, you have to go into like controller options, and then you hit like the L and R button on each one. And if you want to go back to one player mode, you have to go back and switch the controls. So it's, one player mode, and you use both Joy Cons. I don't know. The Switch is pretty cool.
oh, that's what the nubbins are actually called, or Joy Cons.
Yes, they're called Joy Cons, and they are
I did not know
fucking
that.
expensive.
I'm still stuck on the Wii.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
once I figured out how to void the warranty on Wii's and turn them into emulators, I was like, okay, I'm good on Nintendo.
There ain't no Wii warranty anymore. Nintendo's just like, fuck it, do whatever you want with it. We've moved on.
Yeah, they just shut down the Wii store this year too, and I remember someone was doing his best to stay logged into the Wii store to keep it technically active, but I think his parents logged him out, or he had a power outage around 6 months. So
Uh,
that was the end of the Wii store. You have any games in your library that you have not, so kind of like in the same vein?
I know
For me,
there's
it's
because I download. What
go
you
ahead.
got?
Well,
No,
I have
there's.
Here They Lie,
I
and
played that for a little bit.
I also have Soma and Ether One under my list, but Soma is definitely the most interesting one because I know you've actually played that one.
Soma is really good, and it's kind of like Outlast in the fact that it's a survival horror game, but it's, to be honest, it's not really scary. It's just like it's kind of a mind bender kind of thing, because you know how the in a lot of these Ghost in the Shell, for instance, like there's the theme of like you transfer your mind into another body or something like that. Soma kind of
Yes.
plays with that. Like they found out a way to basically do a brain scan, and they download everybody into a computer simulation. And the storyline, it plays like you find these machines throughout that are talking like people, and of course there's some that just want to fucking kill you, but this is to be expected.
So it's kind of a horror game then.
Yeah, it's kind of a horror game. It's technically a horror game. I just didn't think it was that scary, but the story is really good. It's kind of like there's this other game that's like in a very similar vein called Observer that I played recently.
Yeah.
That was a really good game, and it's like there's parts of it that are like scary and nerve wracking, but for the most part, it's like they really focus on the story. And let me just tell you, like the voice acting is good. They actually managed to get Rutger Hauer to voice your main character.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
like oh um Metal Gear Solid 5 or Metal Gear 5
yeah. I mean,
with Kiefer Sutherland.
Rutger Hauer isn't quite on the same level as Kiefer Sutherland, but he's a cool 80s movie actor. Never the hero,
Yeah, but
usually the bad guy.
yeah, he almost always plays the bad guy. Like the
Well,
fun thing is like you watch some of his movies and where he was able to dictate stuff that he wanted to have done, and it's like, okay, this guy's just crazy. I love it.
I mean, there was that one movie that he
Okay.
was like
Any
technically the hero
games you
in.
have? Yeah. Are there any games you have in your library that you have not played yet that kind of fit into that role? You know, like how we have we're both PlayStation Plus people because we use the PlayStation Plus ability to keep in touch with each other
Oh
by
yeah.
chatting like this. We all just get to see it this time. Is there anything else in your PlayStation Plus library that you've added but haven't played yet that kind of falls in line?
There
Because I know it
is.
comes at you so fast, like Grim Fandango. Looks cool, just haven't touched it.
Oh no, I never got to play that one. I wanted to, but I never did. There was one.
Yeah,
There's
it's
one
just
called
sitting in there.
Gunhouse that I never downloaded. It looks like a really good kind of side-scrolling shooter kind of thing. You know, like
Uh huh.
back in the Super Nintendo and Nintendo days, where you had your little ship on like the left side of the screen, and the enemies are coming from the right side, and it's like that, except it looks a lot more like hectic and schizophrenic, like
So it kind
constantly.
of sounds like a old cabinet side scroller.
Exactly. It'd probably be like graphically close to like remember the Neo Geo and SNK arcade type systems with the games like Metal Slug and
Oh
shit.
yes, yes.
Yeah, it looks a lot like that. Haven't gotten a chance to play it yet though. What's another? There was a game I was playing a while back. I can't remember what it was called. It was called like Broken something, but it was made by the same people who did Grim Fandango.
Okay.
And it has two storylines. One is like you follow this girl, and one is where you follow this boy, and you can time, but you have to finish both stories. I got about halfway through it, and then because I was playing with Summer, and she was like interested until she wasn't interested anymore, because she's 9. That happens.
Yeah.
But of all the
Go ahead and
games,
tell everybody about XCOM.
XCOM is one of my favorite games so far. Like, because I love those old school strategy games. Like back in the day, it was Command and Conquer for me. Like I played the shit out of Command and Conquer.
Yeah, the turn-based strategy.
I think Command and Conquer was more real time, but the turn-based strategies are like, remember that game we played on PC that was like from the DOS era, Master of Orion 2?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's taking it way back. That's like firing up, learning how to find the Oregon Trail on the old what were they, Mac ones or whatever.
hmm Don't boot up Oregon Trail. You're just gonna die of dysentery. Just don't worry about it.
Hey, I never died of dysentery. I always did fairly well. I'd usually get killed by wolves, honestly.
I died of dysentery all the time. I don't know why. It was just always dysentery.
Cause you dirty motherfucker.
Like I wanted to remake that game.
No,
Remake
front
that
to
game.
back, front to back, not back to front.
Give us the Utah Trail, the Mormon Trail. Let's see what they happened to them.
Whenever you get lost and don't have a map, you gotta look in a hat and figure out which way to go, right?
Yeah, but you have to do it letter by letter. You can't just say the whole sentence.
Ooh, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. That's why it took so damn long, huh?
Yeah. And no, XCOM is so far like one of my favorite turn-based strategy games ever. I've played it through twice now, just because I had to do it on normal, and then of course I had to try it on like the next highest level. Like I
Yeah,
only,
I played through XCOM 1 with you. What was
mm,
that over on the PS3? I just never
yeah.
went to XCOM 2 and the third one, I think, right?
There's not a third one yet. They made like another
Yeah, there's like a side shoot.
one, XCOM something, but instead of being like a turn-based strategy like that, it was like a third-person shooter strategy kind of thing. From what I understand, it did not work well. So it didn't go far.
Mm.
And I never played it, honestly. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I guess that's where my confusion was because I remember hearing people talk about it, and I guess it just came and went, or at least I thought it did. But you know,
It pretty much just came and went. Like they wanted to basically make it like they wanted to keep the small squad tactics, but they wanted to put you like right in the middle. So, you know, in XCOM, you kind of got like the bird's eye view of your whole squad and you move them around and plan your actions. With this one, though, you're like the squad leader and you're leading like three other guys while you're
Oh.
controlling your guy. Yeah, it was, yeah. I skipped that one. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound interesting. Thanks, though. If I want to do that, I'll just go boot up SOCOM or something.
Yeah, it sounds like it
Grab my
almost comes
PS2.
off as it almost comes off as a mission where you have to guide somebody,
Pretty much, yeah.
where you have to sit there and worry about all the other players in your party. But I mean, that's kind of what I like about some of the old turn-based strategy games. There's another term for them that's more popular right now. I can't remember what they call it. RPG. And what I'll always think back to when it comes to PS2, Legend of Dragoon. Remember that old thick bastard? It had like 2 discs, and it came in that extra wide case like Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got lucky and I was able to buy it digitally later on.
I remember back in the days of like PS1 and 2 when you still had multi-disc games, like Final Fantasy VIII for the PS1. That was a 4-disc game, man.
Yeah. Granted, that was still like CD level capacity. That wasn't even at DVD yet.
All right. I think
it's weird to see how much like data has been they've been able to compress data, and I don't even think we're using 3 out of the 8 or 16 hypothetical layers in a Blu-ray disc yet. So I think hopefully we'll be good on media and physical drives for a while.
Yeah, here's hoping, because man, I have Destiny 2 on digital, and that shit is taking up so much of my hard drive right now.
Oh, yeah, I know. Did you ever get your hard drive swap?
No, I have not done that just yet. I kind of got lazy over the weekend, started working on other stuff, you know. So it has not happened yet.
Yeah, you decided you wanted to get on YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube is a fun waste of time. At least it's better than Facebook. God.
Yeah, at least the likes are for something creative. That's the best thing I can say about it. But with that said, I want to go ahead and open up the panel to anybody else that wants to jump in and talk about their experiences. Just go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. It's at DJ Brock Sheridan. And send me a message, and I'll go ahead and shoot you a link, and I'll get you vetted, and then we'll try and get you on here. We don't plan on going for too long. Only about an hour, just try and get Matt exposed to the whole chat panel, discussion, debate thing. In the future, if y'all want, we can always talk about. I actually had a request to do more philosophy conversations. So I think that's something you'd groove to, right?
Yes. I got a whole bachelor's in that bullshit, man.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to speak out of my ass. But Squirrel's definitely interested in doing a more philosophy conversation.
I'm down for that. I got to do some homework before I come to the panel, though.
Oh, shut your ass. We're all going to be kind of talking from shared inherited knowledge, because it's all stuff we learned in the past. You know, it's not something we're actively studying. I mean, I have the Aristotle and Plato and Socrates book laying around still. So
that's good stuff. Reading a Platonic dialogue, though, is like it's like reading a script, except they don't tell you who's talking, so you got to just kind of figure out who the fuck is talking.
Do you have a lot of processes going on your computer right now? You're kind of getting a kind of like a lag or a sketch out where you're dropping but coming back in with a second gap.
No, it's just my internet here. My internet on where I live is just awful. So I have to pay like $80 a month, and I think we get like 100 gig plan. It's supposed to be like 100 gigabytes a second. Yeah, no. I don't even get a gig most of the time. At best, like on my PS4, I'm usually doing like 24 megs up and 3 down at any given time.
Yeah, I've recently had to switch some settings on my internet settings to where I use Google's. So some of Google's settings instead of Cox's settings because I'm on Cox right now. I
Oh,
would love to get Google Fiber, but it's just not a possibility. It's one of the reasons I always kind of enjoy having a business around because I can just a couple of cheap pieces of paperwork and I can file for a business line,
your
which
ass
would
out
always
to
be awesome.
move your ass out to like the nicer areas in like Edmond and Norman, though. They got that shit everywhere. Get,
Google Fiber? And I know we have Cox Fiber running now.
I think because when I was living in Florida, the county we were in, like we were limited to fucking Xfinity, which is just Comcast, and something called
Yeah.
CenturyLink was like DSL. But in the next county up, Sarasota County, they had fucking Verizon getting like ridiculous speeds on that shit. They wouldn't bring it to our county though because some
Hmm.
people were in cahoots with the local businesses, and they're like, no, 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 we don't want that kind of competition.
Yeah. Open market competition.
No, what do you think this
Ticker
is? Flea market
germs.
capitalism? Please. Mm-mm.
This is post millennial capitalism.
Yeah, it's which basically means like, okay, we're the 3 or 4 companies that got all the money and infrastructure. We're gonna keep it that way.
Oh yeah, dude. It's definitely seems kind of a bass backwards thing. So I'm
Freedom,
kind of saving some for
freedom.
later. Do you remember the first game we played that where it came out like a movie? Or like I know we both played Detroit Become Human. I
Indigo
thought that was
Prophecy.
that was definitely fun. Indigo Prophecy was the S one. Was the
Yeah,
first one,
that was
yes.
the first one
Then
on
what?
PS2.
Heavy Rain came after that, and then the one with Ellen Page.
That one was Beyond Two Souls,
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls.
which
It seems like we've had maybe 5 or 6 of these type of movie games at this point, where it's almost like the old choose your own adventure books. And that's why I
mhm,
always kind of dig them. Detroit Become Human was really excellent with the way you could. It encourages you to seek all the different paths that you could try out. And granted, some of them are just gonna shut right the fuck down, But yeah, you'll be killed trying to run across a goddamn highway.
right? I barely made it through that one, but I know it was a good game because like the whole you play that game without her in the room. Like she had to be watching that game as I'm playing it. So that's how I know it was good.
Oh
Most
yeah, you also have the guy who played the lead android, the one working with the police, Brian Deschart. He's
oh, is that
he actually does game streamings, and he did a live stream of him playing the game that he starred in. So it was all kind of surreal
oh wow.
in a sober way. It was surreal.
That's wow, that's weird.
Oh, I didn't even tell you the
And,
best part. The you remember the when they go to the love droids
yeah,
and you have to fight the 2 androids that are working there as sex slaves.
yeah.
The one with the longer brunette hair, not the one with the short red hair, that's his girlfriend, and she's sitting there next to him as he's streaming.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing I knew was like the guy who played Marcus. I can't remember his name, but he's been in a bunch of shit. And then there was the grizzled old detective that
Yeah,
Connor had to work with.
he's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I can't remember what all he was in. I know he was in the Shawshank Redemption,
Yeah,
and
Dufresne.
oh, but yeah, it was a good game. Like a lot of the stuff that comes out of that studio, they wasn't bad. I didn't like it in the end though, because like the whole game, they're building it up like these kids are being chased by some kind of psycho serial killer or something. And then at the end of the game, you
Uh,
find out it's like, oh no, we're being hunted by Wendigos. Like Wendigos? Fucking Wendigos? Are you serious? Fucking Canadian Sasquatch is after you? Get out of here.
okay, yeah. Before everybody gets too crazy, Matt is a card carrying native, 1 256 Cherokee, so he can mock the culture. I'm just I'm Chickasaw without confirmation. My family hasn't been on the rolls in a long time, but I'm also Cherokee on my dad's side. But
One
this
256 Cherokee Indian gives me the
pale,
right to talk shit.
you get to say Wendigo with sass. That's what it gives you.
Fucking Wendigo.
Hey, it won't be too much longer before we lose the male and female symbols anyway, right? Because people are choosing to self-identify as something they don't want to agree with. And I mean, I kind of get it with the whole, people that don't want to be a woman but still got lady problems. So, I get that, but dear Lord, just
I
fucking
don't.
accept what you want to be. Howdy, Laura Leah.
Uh,
Welcome to the show. See,
oh,
chat's running way behind for me. I feel bad about that. I have to keep almost as much as I can shut down. That way we don't lag behind too hard. I'll fire up YouTube right here. That way I can keep an eye on chat better.
oh shit. There's people commenting. I had it on private chat this whole time. God damn, I'm new.
Yeah, this is essentially popping match cherry. Bless you. Bless Caribbean you.
Oh shit.
D, you're dead, man.
No, she's not dead. She's working on homework. She took intro to philosophy and intro to ethics this semester, and she found out that she does not like either of those things.
Oh, ethics, I don't mind.
Philosophy.
Philosophy is boring AF. It is.
Philosophy.
Boring. Ethics is interesting only because it's part of like the debate aspect of, and learning other people's views is really cool.
But it's a love of knowledge.
Yeah, one of the craziest things that happened with that ethics debate last night is I got to the point where I'm just like sitting there realizing it's like, okay, you've already made your decision. So after one thought experiment, you're pretty much set because you branch off in all the different directions where it's well, what if it's your child? What if it's your parent? What if it's your lover? What if it's your lover and they're cheating, obviously? Shit like that. And after a while, it's like, oh, okay, we already know where we're going to branch this off and where people are going to draw their hard lines. After 2 or 3 experiments, it's pretty good. But it's always fun to talk about it. I'd like to, if we do more philosophy in the future, I'd like to get into the different types of philosophy. Like the trolley problem. It's a utilitarianism and Matt, the one that's with the D word.
Deontology.
Yeah, deontology. And deontology is the one where you feel like there's a special set of rules for you, right?
Think of it as like you determine whether something is ethical or not on principle rather than utility. Utilitarianism is basically like, okay, well, what's going to produce the most good for the most amount of people? Whereas deontology is like, yeah, it doesn't matter about that. It's just like, is what you're doing like unethical on principle or is it ethical on principle? Like in the trolley problem, it gets a lot harder to use deontological approaches though, because like somebody's going to die either way.
Yeah. So. Well, I was able to have fun with it and flip it around to, it's the typical swap out, except it make it like the 5 family members laying on the track versus, like the president or versus somebody you don't know. And,
oh, the president on the other track?
You'll figure out a little bit about somebody, but... well, instead of the president, I actually said somebody very important for the world, or somebody that you feel is important, because I think everybody throw the switch at this point. But yes, that's another conversation for another day, because we just went off on like a little 2-minute rant there. Not on purpose. I apologize about that. Ooh.
So back to games.
How do you look like a shorn nutsack and a shrunken head at the same time?
That good Christian living.
Yeah, back to games. Well, we both played No Man's Sky, right? I don't think I've brought that up yet.
Oh man, I have a real love-hate with No Man's Sky, because like when they finally did like the 2.0 release, it was actually fun to play. And now I booted it up after more of these like little updates and like, so I have all these bases built on all these different
It's
planets,
almost
different
too
systems.
pretty.
Well, see, I like the graphics. Like, I love the fact that they're getting very photorealistic with it. But my thing is, like, so I had all these bases set up in all these various systems, and they were basically just all jump points. So I could jump from here to here and move this here and move that there. But when I booted it back up, they're like power generators for your base. Before, you didn't have to do that. You just built the shit and it worked. It had power. Now they're like, oh, you got to research this generator and
Yeah.
then build a generator at each one. So I booted it back up to play it, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, you can't jump through this. You have to power it up first. I'm like, okay, yep, and I'm done. I'm done. You guys just,
Oh, fun.
yeah, you made it too much.
But you played version 1, right? Where it was just very simple, very rough shapes. Like that's where I started. I actually had to order mine off of Newegg. It wasn't something you could Amazon or GameStop or anything like that. Yeah.
Fucking Newegg.
That's how weird this game was, how unique this game was. I had to Newegg it. That's for those of you who don't know, it's one of the websites Matt and I use for building our computers. That and Newegg. What was the one for the older pieces? Remember that one?
Shit, no, I don't remember that one. I know, like, when I buy computer parts and stuff now, I don't go to Newegg anymore. I get everything off eBay.
Well, we know what we're doing now. The first
just
time,
like, nah, eBay's good. Say what?
Matt and I, what was it? 2007, 2009, when we decided to build our own computers.
Yeah, that was about
I think
it.
you might have been a year ahead of me when that happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I got, like, a lot of people at work tell me, it's like, oh no, you just need to switch to PC gaming. Like, PC gaming is where it's at. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like,
I don't want to be one of those people willing to pay $2,000 for a graphics card, but not willing to pay $10 for a game on Steam.
Right.
And I know me. Back when I was a PC gamer, I would go in and I would always use codes, and I'd modify the files so I could have whatever kind of car, vehicle, or person I wanted to. Like when I was a Sims player, it was PC Sims, like the original back in 99, 2000.
The Sims.
So like I even had the mods where you could take away the blur lines and they were actually naked. Well, you actually had to throw a skin on them so they'd look naked. But yeah, that's the level you can go to PC with gaming, and that's why they get a lot of crazy mods, and that's one of the reasons I'm okay with console to console competition online. But once you start adding PC in there, it just becomes a whole nother thing, because how do you know they're not cheating? It's too easy for someone to just manipulate their code.
Right. I mean, people figure out how to cheat on consoles all the time, though. Like, I have trouble with online gaming. Like, Friday the 13th is still fun for online gaming, but like, fucking the Call of Duty games, like, I have not played a Call of Duty game since like Black Ops 2, I think.
Oh yeah, I think when we both dropped out. We did both play Black Ops 3 when it was a Plus game, but we just never really got into it.
It really felt like they were trying to rip off Destiny on a lot of shit there. Oh, watch, you can run across
on the walls. Fucking walls.
Jump. Wonder where you got that idea, huh? Okay.
Right, next thing you know, they got freaking hammers and swords and shit.
Right?
Like, you know what I honestly missed? I honestly missed the old Medal of Honor games, where they took historical moments and that was set pieces, like Medal of Honor Frontlines, or was it Battlefront, where you came in on the Normandy invasion.
Oh shit, I remember that.
Dude, that was like very Spielberg, the way you had to come through that and survive it. But that was essentially your training for everything. And that was your, what do they call it? Your tutorial nowadays is the way they keep it.
That's a hell of a scene to jump somebody into for training, man. Like,
yeah. Howdy, kitty. How you doing? Moira, my friend, says hi. She's the one who got me started on YouTube. She says, "Hey,
Okay.
military guy."
I'm just
But
military
yeah,
guy now.
it was a ton of fun. Trey Haur, like we're trying to keep your anonymity just in case anything leaks out, because there's certain things he can and can't say, and it's best that we just don't get into it. That's why we won't be talking politics or anything about his work.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I could talk shit on like a senator or a representative or anything any day, but yeah, man, they're real serious.
Yeah, that cock is a heavy one, man.
Yeah, it falls down on your forehead and leaves a print.
The Arabian goggles.
Oh, oh.
But one of them I wanted to make sure I brought up was did I bring up sound shapes yet?
No. I remember
Yeah,
that game, kind of.
yeah,
I
you
didn't ever
had
play it though.
well, you played it with me. I remember it, but it was basically a whole bunch of DJs and people like Dead Mouse, other people like that, where it's almost like training video level music. What's up, Biden Touch?
No, Biden. You can keep on touching whatever you want to touch. You matter nothing.
But basically, it was yeah, you were essentially. I don't even know how to break that game down, but the music changed how the environment around you behaved, if I remember properly. But
I
that was a lot of
I
fun.
mean, I
There's another
vaguely
game
remember it.
I was thinking about, but I didn't have. Oh, Euphoria is the name of the
That's what it
game
was
where you're the
called.
seed versus the insects, and you're trying to take over the
Mhm.
planets. Euphoria. That one actually came
Euphoria.
up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remembered.
That's like, oh, do you
It
remember that?
only took us like 50 minutes to think of.
Do you remember that game? I think like we got it for the Wii or something. It was called World of Goo.
Oh yes,
Yeah, you had
dude.
the little black balls, and you had for some obstacle to the end, kind of like Lemmings. If you remember Lemmings back
Yeah,
in
the eyeballs. The balls had eyes too.
yes, that was a fun game. That was like there, and then there were these there were like some game studio that was making Wii games. They made three games that I had. There was Orbient, uh, Cubics or something like that, and then like
Yes.
Roto Hex. And I remember like Orbient was the one where you were it was a puzzle game where you were in a you had planetary bodies to follow you and get in orbit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, it was brutally unforgiving too. As soon as like your guy just crashes into something, just brrr, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, that always seemed like it's such a difficult one with just the way it played out and the physics of it. It always made it difficult. But it seems like those are the games
Oh yeah,
that really
oh, that
are
was
the
a fun game
best.
though. On my PS4 though, like there's these two games that me and the whole family play. Like we beat the first one, Overcooked, and then I bought the second one, and like they are like simultaneously very fun and incredibly frustrating. Like it's
Yeah, go ahead and tell them what you're doing and why it gets frustrating.
so and you basically have to put together dishes and send them out, which sounds easy, but you got to
Full
grab the
screen play,
ingredient.
right?
Say what?
Full
What'd you say?
screen play, right?
Oh yeah, it's all like it's four person, but it's all on one screen. Like it doesn't move or anything. But
Forgive us. His internet is kind of limited, so this is gonna happen.
yeah,
He's gonna have lagging issues where he comes in and out.
yeah. If you guys miss anything, just let me know. But you have to chop it up, and then you put it in the oven or the pot or the pan or whatever, and then you get the other ingredients that you put in the pot and the pan, and put it all together on a plate, and then you send it out. On top of all of that, there's all kinds of shit in these different kitchens that like can kill you and like make you lose stuff. Like there's one
Yeah, I
level.
remember the level you were playing where your kitchen is in the middle of the freaking road.
Yeah, well, there was one where it's like you're actually like your
And
kitchen is
there's
in an active volcano, so there's fucking lava everywhere. Like, and it just makes you wonder, it's like, who the fuck is eating at this
so the
restaurant?
floor actually is lava.
The floor is actually lava. Yes.
Gordon Ramsay.
You gave me this steak and it's still mooing. Well, you know what?
It's
Throw it in the fucking lava for a little bit.
this beef Wellington is bloody and it's doughy. Do it
I don't know
again.
But it's a really fun game. And
But do you remember playing? Do you remember playing Gun on Xbox with me? The original cowboy game.
Shit, Gun. Yeah, because I keep mixing that game up with Red Dead Revolver. Like every time I try and think of
Well,
the two games, like they just mix together for me.
yeah. Well, Red Dead Revolver is the precursor to Red Dead Redemption. For those of you who don't know, at this point, there's some people that they just see country or cowboy shit and they nope the
And that
fuck
was a
out.
game
So
before
it
it was
happens.
that.
But well, they didn't know that it was a game before it was a game. It's like people that didn't know about the original Grand Theft Auto that's top down.
What? Oh, the original one for PS1?
Yeah.
I fucking loved that game. I remember I had it with the expansion too. And the expansion was weird because like you boot the very first one, like you put the original games, and then when you go down and select the next, like London expansion or whatever, you have to take the disc out and put the next one in.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, if you just leave the original one
So
in there, it freezes and then you have to restart.
it's like Metal Gear when it needs to do the disc swap.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't swap the disc, you're in for a bad day. Gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time. Oh, man.
Oh God.
And then there's this other game, like D won't play it with us, but Summer plays it with me all the time. This game called Helldivers. That is a fun little like top-down shooter. You know those?
Oh yeah, that's one of them I missed out on with the PlayStation Plus.
I mean, if it ever goes on sale and you can buy it for like $10, it's totally worth it. But it's very Starship everything is presented, because like when you boot open the game, like you get a cutscene where it's talking about Super Earth, home of freedom and democracy. It is.
Oh yeah.
And like,
oh yeah.
There's 3 enemies that you're attacking simultaneously. Like one is cyborgs and one is, I can't remember what exactly they call them, but there's some kind of like transcendental species or whatever. And then of course there's wouldn't there be bugs?
The bugs.
The bugs. Yeah, you got to fight the bugs.
Goody.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we still got a couple of minutes left, I want to go ahead and talk about our little guitar games that we play. Matt and I, or Trey and I, both play Rocksmith on our PS4. I have it on PS3, and also have Bandfused on PS3. And it's Guitar Hero, but with a real guitar. And you can technically learn how to play a real song, and you can also learn chords and other aspects of guitar playing like that.
It's actually a really good game.
Have you found a certain brand of guitar that you like connecting better? You know me, I'm always a Epiphone Gibson guy, but I also have my little Fender bass, so I haven't noticed a difference.
When I'm playing it though, like it just depends on what song I'm about to play. So like, if I'm playing like REM or the Ramones or any kind of like the Gibson Les Paul, like that's just the best one for it. But then I got like songs like Deftones,
I always prefer my SG.
I use the BC Rich on the metal songs because they're all in some kind of weird
Yeah,
drop
see,
tuning. So
is it your strings or is it your actual guitar that's making that possible? Because I think I have another set of strings that I'm gonna throw on one of the other guitars that I have. Probably not the Les Paul. It'll probably be the black SG that I have.
yeah,
Because I always keep that. I like the red SG and a natural E, but the black one seems to
yeah,
it's a bit
like
better
for
because
the
my red one's a factory second.
ah. Yeah, for my on my BC Rich, like it's always got like the Not Even Slinky by Ernie Ball because they're just like huge thick
Yeah,
strings and like they're the best for drop tuning. So I always
shiny purple. Actually, let me find that pack of strings. It's the new.
Hmm?
It's the new ones that are best for a drop.
They got new
They're
ones for drop.
yeah, burly slinky.
Oh,
It's a crimson chrome, but it's 11, 14, 18,
I have not even
30,
heard of
42, and
these.
52. Yeah,
Oh,
I picked them up sometime this year, and I haven't blown a string yet. It looks like the ones on my red SG they're getting kind of wavy, so it looks like
yeah.
the cores are shot.
Okay.
But I'm gonna ride that bitch out. But anything else you wanted to say about Rocksmith, or questions, comments, complaints, besides the fact that we can't stream the game and let people know what we're talking about?
Oh, worst part about the game. That is honestly the worst part of the whole
You
game.
try and explain it to people, and you can't.
Well, you can't like. I'm sure we could show them. We would just have to like make a video of of one of us
Yeah.
playing it and then show it. But it's like the PS4 like
Well,
blocks you from recording and streaming anytime that you're playing a song.
yeah, like this isn't like we hit the share button and it says no. It's as soon as you start up the game or start playing a song, it says recording paused due
Yeah,
to audio or something like that.
yeah.
Okay.
It says you're
One of the
entering.
last things I wanted to talk about is Friday the 13th, because that started out super indie, and then all the lawsuit came up. I'd like to touch on the lawsuit and also playable characters, if you're up for that.
Oh yeah, I still love that game. Like, I wish it hadn't had to go through all the bullshit that almost killed it.
Yeah, the
Really wish
Matt and
now
I
they got the
for what
lawsuit
was it? It
settled.
was a solid 3 to 5 months. It was a solid 3 to 5 months that we thought the game was dead until Mega Jetty, one of my other YouTube buds, told me no, it's not dead. You can jump in there and still play it. And I was surprised because Friday the 13th in September was so around the beginning of September was when we started playing it again, and we both picked it up last year. I watched him. He did a share play so I could watch, and I fell in love with the game just because I didn't get to experience horror movies as a kid. So I love everything dark and macabre now. I'm like a goth, except I still wear clothes. Everything's so dreary. No, I'm not quite that bad, but I like the darker stuff of life.
Life is
Bones,
only
osteology.
pain. The only reason we're here is to make life terrible for the normies.
Hey, we have to make sure the Cure get heard by somebody.
You can talk shit all you
Did
want.
she love you?
I like the Cure.
Oh, I do too, but you have to. The Cure have to be involved in the whole goth discussion.
Oh yeah. And now I like Friday the 13th is still one of my favorite games because I haven't played another game that's basically like a 7-on-1 kind of game. Like it's basically just like murder tag, you know?
Yeah, it's 1 versus 7 and 7 versus 1 at the same time, because you're basically one person from the party is going to be playing as Jason, and they have most of the different various options of Jason you can play as. And oh, look, GSB
Yeah.
showed up. Trey, this is GSB. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. She was going long before me, but now I keep in touch with her on the PlayStation. She's going through school, and She has little ones, so she has more important things. But it's always fun to see
Uh,
her play whenever she gets a chance.
Howdy, Cheese B. I
But
totally understand school and kids and work, and it's a real bitch. Life.
now that she showed up, we can finally talk about some of these games. I was trying to hold on to them. Some of the ones that GSB wanted to talk about was a Heavy Rain. I know that we both got access to that one with when PlayStation gave out the access to Detroit Become Human. But you also
Yeah.
got like behind the scenes and soundtracks and stuff like that. But did you ever fire up Heavy Rain?
I never played Heavy Rain. Like, of all the games that studio put out, that's the only one I have not played yet.
Yeah, I almost feel bad about it because I still haven't fired it up either. I think I'm saving it for
I know this.
like an appropriate time of year.
Well, it's about a cop chasing a serial killer or something, isn't it? Isn't that the storyline?
Yeah, as far as I understand. Yeah, as far as I understand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I haven't gotten a chance to play that one yet. I should go through it, but I mean, right now I'm stuck on. I bought Prey, and it's pretty good for a first-person shooter, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's not like kind of like Outlast or Observer kind of thing, but no, it's just a good old first-person shooter.
Yeah, that was another one of the heart attack inducing games, right?
What, Observer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some serious heart attack moments, and then the storyline is fucking insane because there's so much shit that just happens. It's just like mind fuckery. Like Outlast is like it's mind fuckery, kind of more like the shit out of you. Like, I hope you didn't want to sleep tonight because not happening. Observer, like, there's a lot of stuff in there that just
So
like
it's
real mind fuck.
it's on the level of PT then, huh?
No,
Or the
because
first time
it's
you played through Silent Hill on PlayStation kind of keep you awake at night.
yeah, that's Outlast. Observer is more
Okay.
like it does a lot of that, blurring the line between reality and not reality kind of thing. Like that's a big game, but it's definitely worth like
Hey
a
Tommy,
buy.
how we
I got
doing?
it for. Hey
You don't have to
Tommy,
stop
how's it
talking,
going?
man. You can just keep going. I'm just I'm giving shout outs to people as they show up. That way they I always like to show my appreciation when people stop by.
Ah, gotcha.
She
Observer.
also has a couple of them. She's talking about Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice has been her favorite so far. GSB has played her channel she does on
Hot
YouTube
Tag Miz,
is
honestly.
for the most part she plays a lot of indie games, or she'll go back and play games that a lot of us have forgotten, like The Order 1882. Like I had no
Oh,
idea about it, but just watching her play it, it's like me and you just sitting here, like you know how we're on the PlayStation Network and we'll talk as we're playing.
yeah.
And it's literally just like that. It takes me back to the days of being a kid, sitting on the couch and watching your buddy play, and not necessarily waiting for your turn, but just enjoying the entertainment for what it was. And I definitely check her out, y'all. If you got a second, she's one of my favorites, and we can always help to make sure she can have more likes and viewers, because I always like to push everybody's channel and show respect where it's deserved.
Oh
But
yeah.
she also has Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, and I know both you and I have that in PlayStation Plus. I haven't downloaded it either,
I
but
did
it
download it.
looks really awesome.
I did download it and I started playing. I really have no clue what's going on throughout the game, but I stopped playing it because I got stuck at one point and I didn't know where to go next. And the one complaint I had about the games is like it doesn't really tell you where to go next. Like it's very I feel like I've gotten worse at video games over the years
Yeah.
because I remember back in the day, like you would just have to figure out where to go, and I could always do it. And now it's like if a game isn't telling me like, "Hey, go here," like I get fucking lost. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna play something."
So it's like
Yeah,
the
I'm getting old.
empty
My mind's going to
room
shit.
in Metal Gear. Yeah, you fall asleep if you're not engaged. She
Yeah, right.
I think she also played through I can't remember the name, but there's a whole bunch of other ones that are in the same vein, made by the same company. She's I'll have to pull it up for later. I can't think of it, or I'll actually just I'll go creep her channel on my iPad right quick and make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about What Remains
No, it's
of
no. I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's actually made by the same company. Honestly, uh, they all kind of tend to have uh, a cell shaded feel, but it's also there's a focus on the story, but it's not always something it's not always told through dialogue.
Hmm.
Limbo is the name of the game.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it. Never played. You're a little girl, and everything's like dark and shaded, and like you have like a dog or
No,
something that's following
you're a
you.
boy and you're trying to save a little girl. You're a
Oh,
boy
okay.
and you're trying to save a girl.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's
Yeah, Tommy. There's plenty of trolls on Twitter to hunt. Kind of feel special. We got the Geek in Disguise here. He was a special guest on our little sci-fi chat that I'm part of on Thursday nights, Battlestar Galactica chat. I'm really impressed. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. Didn't really plan to go much longer, unless there's anybody like to jump up and chat or chat out other ideas for us to talk about. Matt and I usually will spend our weekends shooting the shit until he has to go to bed, and unfortunately, this is one of those nights, right? You got to be up at Dark 30.
no. I gotta be up at 5:30 and at PT by no later than 6:15 because it starts at 6:30 and really because that's how they roll. So I get to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and then
Eh,
go work
eh.
out for an hour before I go to work.
So you doing that in the booty shorts with the reflector, or do y'all get to wear sweats?
Well, now we get to wear winter PTs, which is basically just like a thin windsuit. You remember like back in the day you got like those windbreaker suits, or it was like that weird like reflective
Oh yeah,
material, but it was
I
thin
definitely
and it didn't.
remember the army light gray, dark gray with the black embroidery.
Oh no, now it's all black and yellow. Like a Wiz Khalifa song, black and yellow, black and
Black and
yellow,
yellow, black and
black and
yellow, black
yellow.
and yellow,
Yeah, that is
black and
that
yellow.
yeah. But apparently we're going to get new PTs like in the next year or two because they had a new guy step in as Sergeant Major of the Army. And the one thing that every new Sergeant Major of the Army likes to do uniform. They either change your fancy uniform, your regular uniform, or your PT uniform. So I'm looking forward to buying more uniforms.
I heard it's coming in the form of your what are the ACUs or ABUs right now?
ASUs.
Your ASUs. God, we're on the
Yeah.
third version of that already. We just call it fucking camo. But
No, the camo ones are OCPs.
yeah, your
ASU is the
OCPs are going to be they're going to stay the same, but they're
yeah.
apparently intending to go back to the green on green,
Great. Oh, for the service dress?
and
Yeah.
it's they're getting rid of the black on gold. No, all
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, there's going to be no more black and gold. Yeah, like your PTs and everything are just going to be green.
Yeah. I'm super excited about spending a whole bunch of money on new uniforms. It's fucking awesome.
It's a tax write-off, though, right?
Fuck no.
Really, it's part of your it's necessary for work.
Yeah, allowance every year, and we're supposed to spend it on that. Which I mean, like the uniform allowance they give you.
Instead of alcohol.
Yeah, but everybody spends it on alcohol. It's just so cheap, man. It's like
Have you
practically
had a
courage.
chance? Have you had a chance to fire up Sniper Elite 4?
No, I haven't downloaded that one yet.
They have another Hunt Hitler It seems they've done that DLC for every version of Sniper Elite so far this time. It's always been fun. The first time we interacted with it was Sniper Elite 1
One.
Volume
Yep.
2 or version 2 on the PS3.
Yeah, the one where you
And
got
I
to
remember always,
shoot
I'll
Hitler.
always remember the time I tagged Hitler in the nuts.
Yeah, it
That
was
was a
great
proud moment.
because it went into the X-ray vision and everything, and just saw them exploding, and then he keeled over and died.
Yeah, it's essentially like Mortal Kombat, where it goes in, it shows all the bones crushing and organs. And with Sniper Elite 4, they've gotten far more detailed. Like you can actually select if you're going to shoot the heart, or the liver, the lungs, or if you're just going to bleed them out and use them as use them as bait to pull other people out.
Nice.
It's definitely worth a shot. I've also been enjoying Wreckfest. Just because that one kind of came up out of nowhere, and it started as a Indiegogo or GoFundMe kind of a thing, and it actually got off the ground, and it started on PC, and then finally moved over to PS4, and everybody's fell in love with it. It's still kind of, you can definitely tell it's a port, but it functions well enough, and it's a lot of fun. I think it was done by the same people that did Flat Out, so the bodies kind of had the same ragdoll physics.
I haven't played that one yet. I'm still playing this game I got for free called Onrush. It's kind of similar, but it's a racing game, but the point of the game isn't to like cross several different modes, but they almost all involve like wrecking out the other cars. And it's fun. Some of the hits though are kind of bullshit. Like there's times where it's like I full on ran into a fucking pole and it still let me keep going. And then there's other times where it's like my ass end like touched a tree and it's like, oh, you wrecked. Like, oh, come on, man.
I was gonna take a second. Yeah, Geek in Disguise. Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out on PC is I'm really excited for that. Honestly, I did a live stream a little bit earlier because I haven't really had a chance to game with all the YouTube work I've been doing lately. With all the lady work with Squirrel and the sci-fi chat. But I got to fire up Red Dead Redemption, and I was able to do a legendary bounty in Red Dead Online. And this one was something else. It was actually like a mini story that was still in the same world, if that makes sense. But yeah, you're hunting down a guy that came out of the Saint Denis, which is essentially New Orleans, and he doses you with some kind of drug in the very beginning, and like you come out, and every animal that's supposed to be big is about the size of a dog, but there's owls that are the size of trees, and you're trying to function with this, and you can't really run at first, and you don't have your map. So it took me about I had to play through it four times at 3 lives a pop, and till I finally got it right. But I did wind up being able to take the guy in alive, which is always a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, Geek, it's going to look interesting to see what the computer players are going to be able to do with the mods and everything. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable yet of console players and PC players being on the same level, just because the ability to open up a file and modify it.
Oh shit.
Still there, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to tap out.
Yeah, it's getting about that time, but we can go a little bit longer. While we're still talking about games, though.
One more game, and we'll get off of here. Go ahead.
There's this other game that me and Summer and D like to play. It's called Death Squared, and like it's basically a puzzle game, but you get and it's 2 or 4 players. Like there's no like play either 2 or 4. So you basically take control of these little like square or cube robots, and you get put in a simulation area, and you basically have to get your colored robot to their colored circle, and the person you're playing with has to do the same thing. But there's all these like little tricks and stuff. Like there's one where like you start moving, and this laser that's your color is following you. And if it hits you and it's your color, it doesn't affect you. But as soon as it hits the person you're playing with, like they die instantly. And you have to. The best part about the game
Oh,
is
fun.
the so you're it's basically this guy who's running simulations with these robots, and he's constantly talking to the computer that is running the simulation called like Iris or something. And the fucking dialogue between the two is just great.
Okay, is it like a Portal level grade or elaborate?
No, it's I mean you could say it's kind of like Portal, but it's more like a third person kind of what's going on. But it's not first person now. But it like the first couple ones are pretty easy, and then it gets challenging really fast because like you'll move on to a certain square or you'll move on to a button to move their circle closer to them. But just as you jump on it, like spikes jump out of the ground and kill them.
Okay. I figure we'll go for an hour, 15 minutes. We got about 4 minutes left. Talk South Park games. The Fractured But Whole. How did you feel about it?
Oh, South Park. Which one?
The Fractured But Whole.
Fractured Butthole. Like, I feel like they really improved on like the battles. Like the battles are a lot more involved,
Yeah.
and the moving around adds a new layer to it. But the story and the jokes were so much better in the Stick of Truth. Like the humor was on point in the Stick of Truth, and the Fractured Butthole. Moment times I just feel like they're kind of beating me over the head with stuff, like trying to say it's funny. Like I don't know if you got to the part where it's like you talk to PC Principal and he's like, "All right, and today you're going to learn about microaggressions."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Having PC Principal in there was kind of interesting because it added an extra battle element that you can get into, like building up your super whenever someone attacks you. If you click X quick enough, you can build up more towards your super. Got a couple comments coming from the chat. Apparently, Tommy's bass strings are broken, and I let him know that both you and I play bass. Geek in disguise likes to slap bass. GSB says bass is awesome. One of my grandfather's cousins played in Grand Funk Railroad, and her
What?
uncle Kevin plays bass. Yeah, yeah. She's like I'm telling you, she's definitely a person to follow. One of the things I've been trying to do this whole time while I've been building and learning YouTube is find my gamers that I like, and I kind of wanted to get a gamer chat together. This is something I'd like to do every week. This time it's just me and Matt. In the future, I'd like to invite more people. So if y'all would like in, just hit me up on Twitter, and we'll definitely figure out topics and stuff like that. It'd be nice to go longer, but unfortunately, Matt here has to bounce out and
Yeah, it's
be an
that
adult.
time. Yeah, it's my old man sleep time now. So
All right, so while you got a second, go ahead and give everybody a rundown once again of where to find you, what's your Twitter handle, what you're doing with your YouTube, plans in the future.
well, you can find me on Twitter. It's at Trey Haur. Got nice and lucky and got that actual name. YouTube is the same. You can find me on Trey Haur. Whenever I'm streaming games, I have been using Twitch. Brian here is telling me like get the hell away from Twitch. Twitch is garbage. So I'm
Yeah, it's for
probably gonna
thoughts now.
I'm probably gonna take his advice and stop streaming to Twitch, and I'll just start streaming to this channel. Another thing I'm playing here is I do a lot of music production, or at least I did. I'm getting back into it, so I'm trying to figure out a way to stream whenever I'm kind of jamming, trying to come up with different ideas for electronica tracks and shit like that. I've been working on a few recently. There's one that I want to try and get put out before Halloween. Don't know if I'm going to make it, but hopefully I'll get that out in time. And you can also hear some of my previously made stuff. It's on SoundCloud, which is the same thing, soundcloud.com/Trey/Haur. You can find all the stuff that I made previously. So You want to take a
I
look
think if I
there?
would have known all those years ago, when I was building that pseudonym, I would have kept it for myself. It's still one of my favorites, just because of the way it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I have a pseudonym I run under too. It's Brock Sheridan, but that was one of the DJ names I used, and I had Trey Haur, I had Brock Haur, and Trey
A
Sheridan,
brother's
and I
pseudonym
just
for
kind
it
of
too. It's
swapped them, crossed them, and threw them at each other.
oh no, man, Trey's got a brother now, Lars Hauer.
Oh yeah, Lars Haur.
Yeah, I made a little weird kind of ambient experimental EP that I put up at SoundCloud as well. SoundClouds.com/Lars-Hauer. So if
Okay.
you're interested in that, you can check that out too. I don't know what I'm going to much do with Lars Hauer or any something. And that's pretty much it.
On that
Now,
note, I'm gonna start bringing it to a close. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I know this is really short, but I'll take it where I can get it. And it's I figured for a first episode or first time trying out the idea, and me actually running a broadcast, it'd be best to keep it short. I want to thank GSB for stepping in as moderator. Geek in Disguise for stopping by. Tommy has always been one of my best supporters. He shows up on almost every stream I do, and he's always an awesome person. Everybody else that's out there that has time to stop by and check us out, definitely check out Geek in Disguise. If you're into movie reviews, he's very knowledgeable. Did a lot of Bollywood and Tollywood.
Bollywood.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, he's very well versed, man. He knows how to keep it uh, how to keep your content creative and different.
I'm making a D once. Like I can't remember what the name of this movie was, but I just remember it was really long and things just kept happening. Like, oh, I can't remember the character's name, but he just had such an anger problem. Like he literally smacked this girl's dad in the face that he was trying to impress. And then she still came back and was like, "No, we can make this work." And then she snuck up on him while he's talking to his friend and he's talking shit about her. And she was like, "I never want to see you again." And then like 10 minutes later in the movie, it was just like, "Oh no, I learned that over and over and over and over again for 3 hours until the end came, and it was like, oh, look at that, they're getting
Yeah,
married. Oh, that's so sweet." Remember that
and
Bollywood
then everybody has a happy dance scene.
Oh, so many happy dance scenes. Like a happy
But
dance scene every 20 minutes.
yeah, I agree, Geek. That the Bollywoods are ridiculously long. Uh,
They are.
yeah, like I just want to thank everybody for stopping by. I'm very humbled that everybody decided to hang out and listen to me and Matt chat. Hopefully in the future we can get more people on. It doesn't matter what your gaming level or experience is. I like gaming because the ability to bring people together, whether it's tabletop. I know Matt's doing a little bit of live action or actual D&D at this point.
Oh, that's
And
an
like
interesting game.
I've been getting into tabletop myself with Suro of the Seas, and I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I'm gonna get out of here. That way we can make sure Matt is up and in his skivvies for working out. If you get a chance, like Tommy said, I was gonna make sure they check out. I Am Dolomite on Netflix. It's awesome. It has all the old school 80s, 90s black comedians, and it talks about a very important piece of American history, kind of the inventor of rap and everything like that, where people got their syncopation and put everything together. But on that note, I'm going to say thanks, and we'll check you out next time. I appreciate it, y'all.
All right. Thanks, y'all.